when you don't have that hype culture all around you, surrounding you, that we need to win. Like, here we win. All right, over there, yeah, you want to win in Miami, but if you lose, all right, we go to the beach, we go do some salsa dancing, you know what I mean? It's no problem, baby. But in Pittsburgh and you lose, it's like the sky is falling.
You're listening to the Hawk Zone Rundown. All things Seahawks with me, Ryan McMillan. Guys, on the show tonight, Big Mac from the Big Mac and BP podcast, breaking down Seahawks Steelers matchup coming up this Sunday. Big Mac, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, chilling, man. I'm chilling at the crib, man, kicking back, crunching the numbers, getting ready for the showdowns going down this weekend, man.
I love it, man. Hey, look, you and me go back a long time. Why don't you let everybody know here before we get into this matchup? You're originally from Houston, Texas, right? But you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, man. How did that start? And just give us a little background on yourself here before we start talking Steelers ball.
Okay. Well, I started watching ball when I was about 3 years old, man. And I only know that because my mama tell me. My mom, my aunts, they said, damn, boy, when you 3 years old, we couldn't turn football off the TV. You'd be out there crying, So I just picked it up at an early age. I just loved everything that I saw about it. And shit, man, when I was a little kid, that was a guy playing middle linebacker for the Steelers, man, and he ain't had no teeth in the front, bro. Jack Lambert, and he just looked fucking mean out there, man. And they had Mean Joe Green, and they just had this toughness about them that I really just was attracted to, and the fact that they were always out playing in the cold and the snow, and they didn't give a fuck about the winter, the wind, none of that, and I'm from H-Town, it's hot down there, it get cold, we kind of complain a little bit. So I always liked the fact that they were raw like that and would just get out there irregardless of the weather and just had this tough attitude. And to be honest, I feel like I've been spoiled because that's something that has stayed with the Steelers through all of these years. We've always had that identity, and a lot of teams, their identity kind of changed, throughout the years. So that's something that I've always respected about the Steelers and loved. And that's it. Even though I'm a QB, it started with the defense that really got me crunk and excited as a youngster.
Yeah, hey, man, I love that because, you picked a great organization, obviously, and sometimes, when you're a kid, you just kind of something draws you to it, and then that's it, man. You can't do anything about it. You're stuck. You're a fan for life. Me, if we go to the baseball analogy, it was kind of similar to me when I locked on with the Oakland A's, right? People say, well, how did you get on with them, right? You're not from the city of Oakland or California or any of that, but it's like you grow up watching ball and you're seeing your guys, like the guys that you're just drawn to even as a kid, the Ricky Hendersons and, that team they had. And then that's it, man. You're forced to ride with them. And that's a cool part about being a fan and just riding with your guys, man. So I like it. But hey, let's get right into this matchup, man, because you guys because I thought I was going to come on here today at some point and talk about the QB situation, maybe just poke at you a little bit, because early on in this offseason, man, we were wondering like, who is going to be your quarterback? We're going to talk DK Metcalf later in the show here, but when that trade happened, I'm like, man, who's going to throw this guy the football? Even the quarterbacks you had, the intern guys last year, Russ Fields, out the door. You guys are sitting there with Mason Rudolph. Rumors of A-Rod kind of maybe happening, but even, from last year and then the Achilles the year before, you think with the dark hole stuff and 41 years old, like whatever, you can have him. Yeah. Man, he comes out 4 touchdowns on Sunday. Looks like, I don't know, man, maybe refocus. I know it's week 1, but man, let's start there right now, man. Your thoughts with your quarterback situation and Rodgers, like what's your thoughts and how you feeling right now?
Well, hey, you know what? Originally, I definitely wasn't too happy, for several reasons. Like you said, the darkness retreat and, him just being such a prima donna. And yeah, you're right. The Achilles injuries and all that there. And I saw some video during camp. He ain't look too quick, going through the little quarterback drills and all that. But with that being said, on Sunday, he definitely showed up. He balled out. He took a real big hit. And I love to see him bounce back because that's one of the things I wonder about a guy that's at that age. You get a hit like that and you second guessing like, well, man, did I make the right decision to come back? But he was pretty sharp on Sunday, and he has great control of the offense. He makes these little quick throws and plays, these quick little reads that I feel like we wasn't getting before. Like the way it was before, I feel like we kind of had to we had to put in a little more effort to manufacture some offense. It wasn't coming so snappy. You know what I mean? Maybe longer plays, the play action, maybe a little bit more of that type of work. But as far as the quick passing game, hey, it wasn't that great under Russ. It wasn't that great under Fields. But, as we both know, those guys are not really known for the quick passing game. They're known to hold on to the ball. So it was kind of refreshing for me to see him making the reads, getting rid of the ball quick. And like you said, you brought up DK, getting the ball to DK. Man, he showed some explosiveness out there. Wow. I almost forgot about the yak part of him. I always kind of came into the season thinking about the downfield aspect, but the yak aspect on Sunday was huge. What did you think about it?
I mean, he definitely thinks he definitely brings that yak aspect to the game. That the thing we switching over to DK a little bit because I want to hear your thoughts of how you feel like he's going to fit in, and how this changes the offense with the Steelers. But that was one thing when I was concerned about. I think there was two camps with DK Metcalf here in Seattle. You had the people like myself that loved him. He was polarizing. You appreciated the athlete that was in the building because those guys don't come around as often. The thing I didn't like was it was like people were worried about paying him and then we'll turn around and be like, well, he's not Justin Jefferson. And I look at it like, that's fine. There's only one Justin Jefferson in the league, but that doesn't mean you can't pay this man and fit him in. Like I hear like, oh, he doesn't really fit a Kubiak style offense. I'm like, this man should be able to fit any style offense because he's a nightmare or he's a mismatched nightmare most of the time. Like if you're a smart OC, fit him in somehow. So my worry now is that with DK out the door, and I know he was getting older and moving on, but a veteran, Tyler Lockett, those are two guys out the door. You bring in a Cooper Kupp. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of question marks, and obviously Sunday, 2 for 15 yards. So he's not there to just hang out. But my thing is, what's this offense going to look like now without DK? JSN now has to be that 1A official receiver.
Yeah.
And we saw Sunday, man, they were just forcing the load to him. I'm waiting to see how we stretch the field, and I'm worried about that. If we're just this ground pound, run the ball, we got the fullback now and the young Robbie Utes and stuff. Okay, I didn't see that, but that's where I'm concerned how we might be a little limited. How are you guys now? How is this Steelers offense, say, with Rodgers and adding a DK? I know he had Pickens, right? Similar, but is this offense going to be kind of similar with Tomlin, just with that nice compliment with the DK Metcalf, or we seeing a different style Steeler offense in your mind this season?
You know what? To be honest, it's definitely going to be different. And like I said earlier, when you have the element of that quick passing game and these quick concepts, the ball's coming out quick, on time, then that allows you to be a little more flexible when you have that type of quarterback. And also, just like with any quarterback, especially a guy with the pedigree of an Aaron Rodgers, when they come in, they're going to add a little bit of spice themselves. They're going to sit down and say, hey, this is what worked for me. over X amount of years, 10 plus years playing football. And we saw a few elements of that on Sunday when we saw Aaron Rodgers hit Calvin Austin with the back shoulder. That's an Aaron Rodgers special, back shoulders and slants. You know what I mean? The boy absolutely loves those things. So when you add that to the mix, yeah, it's definitely going to change it versus a guy like Russ who wants to sit back in the pocket, let things develop, maybe run around a little bit, till he sees something wide open. He's not really keen to get the ball and make a quick read and throw into a tight window. But, the issue that we have is something that we have had over the past few years, man, is run blocking on the O-line has not been great. It wasn't great against the Jets. And I think that's our biggest weakness going into the game this week as far as the offense is, are we going to be able to run the ball? Because the Seahawks defense, they were pretty good against the run last week with the 49ers. They look strong. They look fast, athletic, big. That's a pretty nice defensive front right there.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people in Seattle, we think we got a really solid group up front, like especially in the middle, right? Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy in his second year now, and even Jaron Reed, right? You got that nice, really, I mean, really, the Seahawks, we look at it sort of like our biggest strengths are really up the middle, right? Ernest Jones at linebacker, Julian Love, the kind of almost you could say are three, like I love Spoon, but really like you have Julian Love in the back end, Ernest, and then Leonard Williams. I mean, he's still balling out. But the concern is our edges. Like we're solid, but we're kind of waiting for that. Who's taking that step? Like we kind of get there, but we're not getting home, right? You got Boye Mcafee, Derek Hall's a nice piece. Chen is still hurt, but so it's kind of, there's still some questions. Can we really get home? We saw what happened with Nick Bosa when you had that game record on the edge and fourth quarter ended the game. I don't know if you saw that play, but really just took Abe Lucas that we just signed and threw him into Darnold and capped it and capped the game. And that's, I'm not saying, I mean, it's like saying, hey, why don't you have Josh Allen under center? I mean, there's only so many of those dudes, but the Seahawks have always had, it's like, when are we getting sort of our guy? When are we looking maybe early in the draft to get that guy? Maybe the chips haven't fallen, but it's a bit of a concern, right? Just to say, what are our edges like? I think same with our outsides with, Reek Woolen's got some issues going on right now too. But where do you, so when we look at this matchup with the Steelers, what are you seeing that you got the advantage, or maybe you got a couple of advantages, but where do you see kind of your biggest advantage here going against the Hawks on Sunday here?
Hey, man, well, we got a few. It's hard for me to say what the biggest one is, off the top of my head, but I'll tell you what, a real big one is Chris Boswell. Tomlin said he was a serial killer, you know what I mean? And the thing is this, man, when all you got to do is get the ball to the 45 and you got 3 points, that's a hell of a weapon. And then you combine that with the defense, as you know, the strength of our defense is Highsmith and Watt coming off those edges. And then you got a guy like Ramsey. I mean, he looked even better than he looked last year. I know it's only been one game, but man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, listen, do you think there's a bit of I talk about Aaron Rodgers, talk about Ramsey, because I mean, look, I always give the Steelers organization credit because, like you said, like there's a certain style play, there's a certain like standard. I mean, you think sometimes even like a Jalen Ramsey might say, "Hey, shit, I'm going to Pittsburgh. I'm playing with Mike Tom. I'm playing with a winning organization. Like my focus is just a little better. Like like human nature. Like not that I didn't give a shit last year, but it's like you just have that little extra like, yeah, my game is just because I'm surrounded by all this. Like do you agree with some of that?
You know what? Hey, man, he probably getting a little life You know what I mean? And it's in his heart. You know what I mean? Because you're playing down there in Miami. You know, nobody really expects you to win. It's great, you know, because you got the beach and palm trees. You know, you got a lot of distractions and things going on down there. So hey, it ain't bad at all, you know. But in terms of on the field, you know, when you don't have that hype culture all around you, surrounding you, that we need to win. Like here we win. You know, all right, over there, yeah, you want to win in Miami. But if you lose, all right, we go to the beach, we go do some salsa dancing, you know what I mean? It's no problem, baby. But in Pittsburgh and you lose, it's like the sky is falling. So it's a whole nother level of pressure, expectations. You know, some people thrive with that, man. You know, not that they didn't have it in Dallas with Micah Parsons, you know, but fuck, he looked very energized over there in Green Bay. You know, he ain't concerned that it's gonna be, you know, -10 in a couple months, and oh, it was hot and warm and beautiful in Dallas. He ain't concerned with that. His concern is what is this team gonna do? Because he feels like, hey, I have something to prove right now.
Yeah.
And I'm over here and I'm in Title Town. And I'm walking through these doors and I'm seeing the big G. I'm seeing the photos of the greats that came out here, Bart Starr and you know all this nine. Hey, oh yeah, hey, you got a few teams that have that stigma, and I don't want to say that Dallas doesn't, because Dallas is definitely one of the premium teams, but hey, they ain't won in a long time. You know, it's been a minute.
Yeah, no, I mean for sure, and you know when you look at what you were mentioning too, I mean you got, I mean the player. I mean I feel like you guys are. I don't want to say all in because there's but some of the guys you have, just some of the names, right? T.J. Watt, Jalen Ramsey. I mean Aaron. I know Aaron's 41, but I mean maybe it's a rejuvenation kind of season. You bring in a DK Metcalf, you can still run the football. It feels like you guys are kind of ready to kind of, you know, take this division. I mean, it's a tough one. I just mean, like, it feels like
Oh yeah.
it's a tough place to play.
Oh,
Listen,
they're going for it.
I'll tell you right now. When the schedule came out, we did a show. We were kind of going through the schedule, and I was worried about this game. And that was before, obviously, we played the Niners, right? I said, okay, look, the Niners. I felt good about our team coming in. I felt like, I know week one's a crapshoot, but I still felt we were going to take care of the Niners, especially how banged up they were. So seeing the offense right now with Seattle, and that's the thing that's concerning now. Like you mentioned, you got your edges. Our offensive line still has question marks. I know people want to say, okay, we got our collective five and with Gray Zabel and who's a rookie. It's going to take some time, right? But so that's my concern, because right now this offense in Seattle doesn't quite have an identity yet. We were promised an identity. It wasn't there on Sunday. Now it's going to take some time, but now I'd rather come into your house maybe week 9 or 10, even if the weather's a little colder, than coming in with this offense that's trying to figure it out against a more established defense. So that's my biggest concern going into your house, is just the defense. You know what I mean? The defensive front you got, and just how if they start coming at them, and then I'm not sure, because right now I don't know who the answer is other than JSN. If we can't run the
Hey,
football,
Charbonnet look good, man. I'm
if they
trying to
can run
figure
the
out.
ball, I
It
like
seems
Charbonnet.
like Charbonnet does a lot better job of kind of weaving through and reading the blocks than Kenneth Walker does, man.
He
You know,
does.
was that just me? How do you feel about that?
I mean, no, people echo the same thing, especially a lot of people in Seattle. I think a lot of people are saying this could be the guy. Like, and Walker's on a contract year. I don't think they're going to extend him. I think based on injury history, plus just I agree, man. I think he follows the blocks, he hits it, and he goes. And I think if they just want to be kind of a ground and pound and pick up 4 and 5 and not be fancy with it, then I mean I want to give Sharps the the load, man, and then can kind of be that complementary piece. But that's the thing. We sort of we're promised, when it's 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, we're confident that we're going to get a first down. Like we're that team where we got fullbacks. We want to be this running team. And that's why we were a little concerned when Mike kicked the field goal when it was 4th and 1. It was like, hey man, just send a message to the offense that this is what we want to do. I think week 1, you could afford to do it. We end up losing the game anyways. So, but so it's kind of, but against your D line, that's definitely a concern. But talk about DK, man. Like I know we touched on him a little bit, but you had George Pickens last year on the team. They make the trade for DK. You sign him to the big contract. Pickens initially was still on the team, and you're thinking, is this going to work? He ends up, now he's not there. Give me a little bit of difference between those two players, because you've watched Pickens quite a bit, and now DK, and you've seen him in Seattle, obviously. What kind of separates them as a receiver? You feel like you got a little upgrade there. Just talk about that for a minute.
Well, I mean, the best upgrade is at least DK is acting like he has some type of common sense. That's what the upgrade was. Now, if it was just strictly based on athleticism and how they play the game at receiver, hey, I love George Pickens, man. Shit, I was pissed off that we didn't get him even more involved last year. But when you got a guy that ain't coming to practices, not showing up to meetings, showing up to the stadium, an hour before kickoff, and you play ball, hell no, you get into the stadium early. You getting there 4-5 hours before kickoff. You're not showing up like that. That's just pure disrespect. The Cleveland game, when they throw the Hail Mary and he's chucking somebody, the brown guy, back into the stands, like instead of going back to the huddle. Like the dude is, to be honest, the dude, is definitely has some mental challenges, man, and he probably needs some help, to be honest, because that's just not normal, the type of shit that he does. So as far as receivers, I like the fact that George has great hands. I think his hands are a little bit better than DK's.
Yeah.
He's a little more, I love them both in the open field, but I feel like George is a little more slippery, where DK is more explosive. He's going to get it and go. And if you don't get a hold of him early and he gets ahead of steam rolling, you definitely not arm tackling him. So DK just is a more of a powerful force out there. He runs powerfully, explosively, running through arm tackles and things of that such. So they're a little bit different. And I think that the upgrade, I just feel that DK is more, that's what DK is more of a pro than Pickens is, and maybe Pickens will get it. I don't know. Last week against the Eagles, I knew he was going to do something stupid. And he goes and face masks the guy and gets a penalty. So I don't think that he can help it, man. He needs some medication or something.
Yeah, man. It's funny, man, because you bring up the pro thing, and that's the thing. Nothing he did here in Seattle, like he didn't do, he didn't get any trouble off the field. He kind of was, because he was that ultimate pro. The one side, there's always that one group of fans that it was like, no matter what, they were almost looking for something so they could say something. Okay, hey, it's DK again. Like, we took a 15-yard penalty because he's getting heated with the guy and they're getting in a little tussle, and he takes that next level. I always was like, look, you guys you're looking at the wrong thing of why this team's struggling. Like you had anemic offensive coordinators here almost for his full tenure, besides the little Schottenheimer let Russ cook era where it was bombs away for a bit. You had Shane Waldron, and then last year's disaster with Grubb, and he was getting on the headset with him. You remember that headset clip? Like, but it was just like,
right.
This guy wanted to win, and he had stretches, and I think it was the Waldron era. Stretches, games where he never saw football for the first 3 quarters, and the offense is struggling, and he was so all of a sudden you got your rival talking a little bit, and he's, man, I need a football, and nothing's going for the guy, so he gets a little bit of this, and instead of the big picture where it's like, this offense stinks. You guys should be more concerned about that than, okay, DK taking it. Like, we're not losing because of that. Now, should he do that? Sure, maybe not. But that was really the extent of any issue, right? And for me, I just saw him. I always saw him the other way. I saw him as like the ultimate competitor, the guy that cared, a guy that came to work, a guy that wanted to win. And that's what I saw from him. And even he got a little fumble happy at times. And he always tried to fight for that extra half yard. And it's like, protect the football, but I appreciate what you're trying to do. Now, he kind of started having a bit of a history. So there was times where you're holding your breath, like, dude, just go down. But at the same time, it was like, okay, you just trying to fight for every yard, and that's what I love about him. And you're right, like the Pickens, yes, the hands, and that's the one critique. I love him, but you always were like, you have the tools. If you just elevate to that next step, like, you should be winning most of these balls, these 50-50s. You should be high point. I mean, he just you might see that a little bit unless he's worked on it. He's been in the league long enough where I think you're gonna get what you get. Like, you're gonna get this competitor, like you said, explosive receiver. He hits it, he's gone. You're gonna get the big plays with him. At the end of the day, man, he was so fun to watch here, and he was a polarizing player. Like right now, you say with the Steelers, I can almost name, whether they're a little older or in their prime, like, you got some names on the back of that jersey right now.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys got some names. Like, Seattle, we got good players, not superstars. And when I saw DK, I was kind of seeing not quite that superstar, but a guy I'd pay admission to see leave the building. And that's a concern for me as a fan. If I'm going to the game, right? You know how it is. Like, you're paying to see your team, but you're playing to see. I want to pay who
you want to have some ball. You want to see some explosion out there. You want to see some pizzazz, man. You don't want to just see the other team with all these high risers and fast runners and reverse running, and you running reverse and can't get nothing. No. Hey, it's on the organization to put out a great product out there, man, and keep pushing for the city. And well, I will say this, man. Going to the history, hey, man, Seattle has won championships. So y'all got a Super Bowl under your belt. So it ain't like you ain't never tasted it. Y'all have never built it before. So, hey, man, it definitely can happen again. And a lot of it is about luck, man. When you look at the drafts, man, when I look at Pittsburgh Steelers, for example, when Big Ben came out, all the talk was about Phillip Rivers, and everybody wanted Phillip Rivers on the team. And Phillip Rivers got drafted, and Ben was there, and we grabbed Ben, and people were kind of like, oh, okay, like, hey, he seemed all right, but he played at a small school, He didn't go to Notre Dame, Ohio State. He went Miami of Ohio, right? And then he gets out there, and wow, day one, I think Maddox got hurt. Big Ben comes in. Day one is like, we got something here. We got something. So that's a big part of it too, man. Just getting lucky at the draft. I feel it's one of the things we've been unlucky with lately as far as trying to replace Big Ben, is we really haven't been in a position. You can't really point and say, oh, in this draft, you had this guy and you took this guy instead of getting a QB. I mean, we took, Pickett, and, the other guy with Malik Willis, he ain't worked out. So, hey, you got to be lucky, man. But, hey, you got to be ready when that blessing comes. That's for sure, man.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad draft for quarterbacks. So you always knew there's always going to be somebody picked in the first round, even if they're third round great talents. But man, I want to get your thoughts. Just sticking on quarterback, I want to get your thoughts on because you got a quarterback background and all that. And what's your take on we drafted him in the third round and he's a development guy, but what's your thoughts on Jalen Milroe's game?
You know what? I was pretty skeptical about his game overall. The first year he was at Alabama, the last year he was at Alabama, he got a little better, but I still wasn't quite sure if he was an NFL quarterback. But from what I've seen over the preseason, I've been a little bit surprised. So I think it's a great idea because when you have a QB with that type of top end speed, we see what Jaden Daniels is doing out there on Sundays. We see Lamar Jackson. Damn, they could have sacked him for 20-yard loss, and he turned it around to a 30-yard gain. Like, you can call the best defense, and there's just no defense for things like that. So when you got a guy like that who can give you first downs on the drives, on plays like that, and still be safe with the football, don't throw the picks, don't force it, throw it out of bounds when you need to, make the smart plays. When you have that type of combination, it's an advantage, because when it comes to the blocking scheme, right, they don't account for the quarterback. So you bring a running back there, and then the running back is the lead block. Then he just picked the guy who was supposed to get the quarterback. So it's definitely an advantage. We saw the game. Pittsburgh just played with the Jets, and I was pissed off. Like, hell, why wasn't we running Justin like this last year? You got Russ as a backup. So if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. So why y'all trying to turn this man into something he's not? Give him a little bit of it. I get it. But, hey, give him some of his love, too. Let him do his thing so he can run around, feel good, feel confident. He's got his chest out, So I feel the same type of action could happen with Jalen there, man. I think it's a good risk to take. Not a bad one for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is kind of, whether it works or not, it feels like a different room for us now, too, because you got a guy that can compete in the intern with Sam Darnold, and who knows, it's a contract that they can get out of, but you got a guy that can just sit in the wings and develop, and then the Hawks behind the scenes and say, okay, like they know his development, they know how he's coming along. I'm not going to base it off a preseason game in Green Bay with third string offensive linemen. I'm just not, like, I understand, okay, the fumbles, but at the same time, like, just he's not going to start. So let him develop, and they'll know how he's coming along. I'm not going to sit here and say, but it's the same way I loved how the Green Bay Packers kind of were being proactive. And I think that's sometimes teams just don't do it enough, where it's like, hey, you know what, whether maybe we don't want to hurt our QB's feelings right now, but they went out and drafted Jordan Love when Aaron's still very productive. And people, of course, he's like, well, where's my receivers, right? Why'd you draft a quarterback?
Yeah.
But they knew at some point this kid was going to be ready, and he got to develop under Aaron for 2 seasons, and it's working out great for him. So, you're not missing a beat kind of thing. So, that's the thing, right? But it's sometimes obviously easier said than done, right? Because that guy's got to be there too. Like you said, it comes down to luck, the draft, all that. But yeah, hey, Matt, give me 3 keys to the game for you guys. And to get out of here, or not get out of here because you're at home, but just give me 3 keys that you think the Steelers need to beat the Hawks this Sunday, and then I'll give you my 3 keys for the Hawks.
Okay, all right. Well, my first key for the game is run the ball. We need to be able to run the ball. We don't have to run for 120. We ain't got to run for 150. But hey, this 50 yards rushing type razzmatazz, I don't know if we can win the game like that. And it might involve giving more reps to Kenneth Gainwell, because he did great last week. He looked better than Warren, which is surprising. But hey, let the cream rise to the top. Hey, no need to feel like you got to show loyalty to Warren. Hey, just put the best guy out there. So we need some running of the ball, the run blocking. That's number 1. Number 2, hey, I'm gonna go with a specific player, and it's also along the offensive line. Broderick Jones, man, hey, he has to give us a good game. Last game, he was like 50-50 out there, and he's been sporadic throughout his career. I'm starting to feel like the dude is a bust because he does things that make no damn sense. He's pass blocking on a run play. He's run blocking on the pass play, and he's holding his head. How many times it's going to be my bad on that type of shit? Like, I don't know what's going on with the guy. He's got all the physical tools, but we need a more consistent game out of him. And then number 3, hey, to get right back to the trenches, hey, we're gonna have to stop the run. We have to do a better job than we did last week. And I know over the years I've been watching the Steelers a long time. Sometimes when we get in these nickel formations and we bringing in extra DBs and bringing safeties down to play linebacker, sometimes we tend to get gashed. It's great for when we got guys in passing downs and you bringing in this great mix of foot speed. But hey, we got to get to the point where we can get the Seattle Seahawks in 3rd and long and not giving them those 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s. Keep them in the 3rd and 7 and greater. Those are my 3 keys for the game. How about you?
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we need to establish that. I mean, my biggest key is just establish an identity and offense, right? I think week 1, the Hawks there was no identity when we thought we were coming into this year with a true identity. Now, week 1 is week 1. So, how does Kubiak now have a full week to sit down with Mike McDonald and say, look, this is what I'm going to do now? Because I'm sure there was some type of discussion going on there, because we ran play action once, and we thought we were going to come in, establish a run, be at a shotgun way less. Like, we were in shotgun too much. It felt like a lot of Ryan Grubb stuff from last year. And the trick plays there was just too many I just felt like we didn't need it. Right. So I just feel like the big key for us to come in as an underdog is establish an identity. And then that means run the football. And really, I think the key to that is getting Zach rolling. And I want to see Zach get most of the carries and can be that complement. So that's a key. If that can happen, I think we're going to be in decent shape to at least give us our best shot. And then my second key, like I said, with your front, like, we need to be solid with our offensive line. And there's still question marks. Do I like the direction? Sure. But it's still unproven, and Anthony Bradford at that guard spot, all indications he looked better. He's by far winning the spot, but the competition wasn't really good. So, and he didn't play that good on Sunday either. So he's a key to me as well. That interior, that O-line has to be better for them to have any chance. So, and then my third key, I mean, really is just probably going to be our edge. Can we get home? If it's the same kind of thing where we're kind of getting some pressure, but we're just not getting there, I think Aaron will get comfortable and he'll be able to just kind of fit back into his experience and do what he can do out there. And just a bonus key, I got to see Reek Woolen with his head on straight, man. Like, I just think I think he's getting to be not on his last straw here with Mike, but he's just, the mental errors is just too many. And he really, look, the defense played a great game last game. And they were on the field a ton. They were on the field a lot, but you got one more drive to finish it. And Reek gave up a huge play. And it was all mental. And then the touchdown too, really just not in position, not playing it right.
Oh yeah, Purdy just threw that one up.
It just threw that one up, and then the one to Pearsall, it was like again, you're not going against an all-star receiver who just got you on a move. Like, you just misread it, and then I mean, it was bad. So he's got to have a solid game. So those are my keys. It's going to be tough though, man. I mean, give me a score.
Give you a score. Oh man. Hey, man, I say Pittsburgh 27-17, man.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, I got the Hawks losing. Like, I just,
whoa.
And it's tough for me because I think we were doing the prediction shows. Man, I think the first 6 weeks I had them 6-0, man. Like, I had them rolling, dude, because it's just hard for me to pick them lose. Like, it just is. And then I was like, hey, look, I gotta stop thinking with the heart, think with the head. And but it's, man, I'm just, based on last week's offensive performance, based on coming into Pittsburgh, based on how you guys looked, and just, it's a tough place to play. I think I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna go 27. I think I'm gonna go more like 21. I'm keep it kind of classic. 21 17. 21-17 Steelers. I think, maybe a couple tutties and a field goal here. But yeah, it's gonna be a little tighter, but I think they get a little better on offense. But I gotta see the offense show me that they can go on the road and do it. It's a brand new offense. It's the way the defense played so solid the entire game, and we just couldn't do anything offensively. So I just think I can't come out and give the Hawks a win based on what I saw in week 1 and based on no track record with this offense. So yeah, I got Steelers 21-17, man. But yeah.
Man. So my quick question to you, is about the Seahawks is who's gonna be the guy that's gonna be the Robin to JSN's Batman as a receiver?
That's it. Like that's the big question. And I think, people like we signed Cooper Kupp and it's like, okay, we don't expect him to be triple crown Cooper Kupp. He's had a ton of injuries. He's north of 30, but can he maybe be that Batman? There's again, jury's out. I don't know if is one right now, man. And that's the concerning thing. We brought in MVS that in my opinion, surprisingly, we cut him. And I just felt like he was in Kubiak's system. He could give you that post route and he can stretch the field. And I know they like that young receiver, Torrey Horton, they got, but he's unproven. Mm-hmm. I don't know what your take is. I feel like when you can have a veteran receiver that's been in this league, I mean, to me, there's a lot of value there. I'm not sitting back and saying, hey, like, I know more than John Schneider, but I question it because here's a guy that's proven you can get him out here, stretch the field. I know he has some drop history, but he can stretch the field. I mean, so again, to answer your question, man, I don't know yet. Yeah. And that's why you saw like 80% of the passes completed to JSN. And I don't think the Seahawks know
what
yet.
Did he get like 11 catches? Was it 11?
Yeah, he had a good game. But again, if he's getting all the load, I mean, yeah, he's going to have some decent numbers. I think for me, I look at it like I almost think they feel like we have JSN. He's going to take that step automatically. And analytically, collectively, we're going to replace a DK or something. Like, Kubiak uses the tight ends. But again, who's your tight ends? You have a rookie, Arroyo, and AJ Barner, who is like a blocking tight end, but he played pretty good in the receiving game. So again, nothing proven there. And then you're going to run the ball. Okay, if you're just going to run, I still feel like you still need that threat. So I'm really not sure. That's why when DK left or when they traded him, I was like, oh, okay, well, what's the plan? Because I want to get your take real quick. As far as the receiver go, like I love JSN's game. He's a slot receiver. And I know he can put up numbers. I'm just not sure if he's that ultimate one. Mm-hmm. What's your thought on that?
Hey, man, the fact that he was able to go out there and get 11 catches, man, and ball out, man, I think that he definitely is a number one. Now, going into it, I was uncertain, and I guess I shouldn't overreact to week 1. We all got to remember it's week 1. I know everybody want to give Buffalo the Super Bowl. I mean, everybody else just go home. Buffalo winning the Super Bowl. But, hey, man, it's just week 1. And watching that Seahawks game, I will say this, man. Hey, y'all could have easily won the game. Y'all had the game.
We had the
game.
So
it ain't like y'all just got beat and just like, what, they just better than us. And,
no.
But, y'all should have won. I know it's a little disheartening because you don't want to lose that type of game at home. You feel like if you're at home, that's the game you got to pull out. I get that part of it.
Against your rival.
Oh, yeah, division game at home, you got to have it. Because next time you're going to be down at their place. And they might be a little bit healthier next time. Maybe they won't have that many injuries. And then they lose Big Williams during the game too.
Yeah, well, and then they lost Kittle for 80% of the game. Jennings went down, right? So at the end of the game, you're down to like Ricky Pearsall and that tight end that no one knew his name. that cut the game. So that was the other concern, that you're playing a pretty banged up Niners. And like you said, it's week 1. So, but again, my concern is just, and look, I love JSN. Don't get me wrong. I think he could be a 1, but I just think, if you're trying to do it by committee, you are taking chances. If everything goes right, if you can run an effective offense in the way you say, okay, I want to see it. But yeah, it's concerning, man. It was concerning in the offseason when they were putting this together, when they were signing MVS and then a Cooper Kupp, and you're like, okay, we had DK Metcalf, and I know Tyler's aging, but he's still, man, ultimate professional, like still, be that third guy for you. So it's still, the jury's out, man. Like, we got to see it. I got to see a 6-game stretch. Like, I can't judge it, right? It's like, I'm not going to judge this team until after week 6, but that 6-game stretch, we'll see. So, yeah, man. So we'll see, but hey, it's going to be a matchup, man. I can't wait for this. It's always tough to go into your house. So it's going to be good. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong. But like you said, man, I just think it's going to be real tough for them right now. So, yeah, man. So before we get you out of here, man, I know you got some stuff going on. I know you got a podcast going on, the Big Mac and BP podcast, and you guys are firing back up. Why don't you let everybody know kind of what that's all about, what you guys got going on with that? And then I'm going to put the links in the description. So anybody watching this show, go down, check that stuff out. So, yeah, tell us about it.
Oh man, it's a wonderful show. I shoot it with the homie BP, man. Shout out to you, man. And we get down to it, man, and we just try to have a little fun with it too. We don't focus on just one team. Hey, I could talk Steelers all day, and he's a Bengals fan, so it's a little similarities to what we got here with the little rivalry, but they in the division though. So we kind of have shit talking going year round between us on that Bengals and Steelers thing. But yeah, we talk about a variety of things. We try not to be too, what's the word I want to say? We don't want to stay in the fairways all the time. We want to spread it out a little bit. So that's kind of how our show is. It's a little loose. And if you check it out, I guarantee you're going to chuckle a couple of times, man. And that's a guarantee.
You sit back, man, get a drink going, watch the Big Mac and BP.
Yeah, smoke you a J or something, man. Get in the mood, man, and kick it out, man.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, anybody watching this show, trust me. Look, I know you guys are kind of it's a newer pod. You guys are kind of kicking. You had it going last year, but I like what you guys are doing over there, man, because it's something different. But you guys know what you're talking about too, and that's what I really appreciate it, right? You got a vast array of topics. But it's there's something there for everybody, and you guys know your ball, you know what you're saying. So but it's entertaining too. So I like it, man. It's good shit. And like I said, links in the description, guys. So go down there, check it out. You got something dropping pretty soon. I guess you guys got the NFL's kicking. So is that going to be a lot of the focus?
Oh yeah. We definitely we do dabble in a couple other things in sports when things get a little hot, but we definitely try to focus mostly on football, mostly the NFL. So the NFL is definitely our primary, and but we will branch out into other things if something comes up juicy or spicy that we need to get a hold of.
No, I love it, man. Okay, yeah, like I said, guys, links in the description. Go down, click it, check it out. Man, Big Mac, appreciate it, man. Let's talk next week or something, man, off air, and see what's up after the game. So appreciate you again, man. We'll talk in the future here.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on the show, man. You're doing a hell of a job, dog.
Appreciate it, man. All right.